Hey, what's up, guys? It is Rapmark here. So, doing my review for episode 4 of the new Disney Plus series Andor. And what did I think of that? Think of it? To be honest, I actually really enjoyed this episode. It was a little on the slow side, admittedly, but it's pre-build up, and just looking at you know, the writers that they have for this show. It's and the fact that the first three were like, a movie, but like divided into three things. That's what I'm kind of going into this one going as, and then we'll have to see. Episode 7 is written by someone else. So we have Tony Gilroy did the first ones. Those were the ones who he was the one who helped write Rogue One, and then Dan Gilroy is his brother. And you know what? It matched the pacing, story wise. It matched everything beautifully. So we get him until episode 6. So I'm actually kind of excited. So, but it's one of those things where I wish, they had done it as like something of three, because I can see how some people would see this as being too slow for them. And for me, no, I don't. I love the world building here. I mean, it literally is just like how it would be really in the like it feels real, it feels lived in. Again, it doesn't feel like Star Wars, because again, you don't have Sith, you don't have Jedi, you just have people and organizations, and you know like again, this is it's almost like like real to life. Like in this episode, you literally have a meeting of an Imperial intelligence budget report, essentially. And it wasn't boring. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was super good. So, I don't mind all this world building, though I can understand why some people would take exception to it, especially if it's like the first 3 episodes, and the payoff doesn't really come until episode 6, which may be the case. I'm not sure yet. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I love the characters, and oh my gosh, what's his name? Ryle. So Luthen, you know, I'm using Wikipedia as a guide, just so you know. I've made that very clear before, but sometimes I bring it up just to let people know. But Luthen, he essentially is, yeah, he's trying to recruit Cassian into this rebellion, and like his character is just so interesting, because you go through this sort of junker trader type that you see him, you meet him in, and then when he goes to Coruscant, I believe he's on Coruscant. Is he on Coruscant? I'm gonna check real quick. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but I believe so. And yeah, he meets with this senator who, like, but no, his character, like, he dons a wig and he goes from like this dour, quiet type to this bubbly, smiling, like, just yeah, plays a part. And but anyway, so yeah, the senator comes in. What is her name? It is Mon Mothra, Mon Mothma. There we go. and it essentially states what it's like for the senators too. I mean, um, they can't move money around as easily as much. The empire is starting to put them under surveillance. They have different, changing out their own personnel. Like it's pointed out she has a new driver. Who knows if that's a spy? There are spies ever. Who knows? So, I mean, it's just, I love it. And then you deal with the actual rebellion itself, and from what I've looked at, like a lot of people were complaining about, how the fact that it's an AK-47, that looks kind of modded up, and it's just like come on, come on, this is like this is how rebellion start, and I'm sorry, but given how primitive some of these worlds are, you know, I I still would believe that some sort of kinetic weapons may exist there, and even if it's not supposed to be kinetic and it's it's a blaster of some sort, just more primitive. Like again, that's rebellions. They don't have the best equipment, the best gear, so I'm not complaining about that at all. I mean, and most of the blasters you see in Star Wars are actual guns, but with mods and casings around them to make them look different, to make them look cooler, look more futuristic. So I don't get all the hate for the weapons these guys are holding. It just makes no sense. So I mean, I think it looks really good, and again, it's real. It makes everything seem more real, and that's what I love about this show. Is it actually feels like, even though it's sci-fi and it feels real. Like again, there are people, like, you have to worry about stuff, even with the budget meeting, you have to worry about money, where's it going, you have to get your reports in. It's it's mundane things, but I mean, here obviously done in a really good way that I actually enjoyed. It didn't seem overdrawn. It seemed very real, and it dealt with the real issues at hand, while sort of cutting when it started to get into side issues. But yeah, it was it was amazing how they treated it. And then you also have the office rivalries. There's an imperial officer. Does it have her name? I'm going to check. But yeah, she is essentially trying to get access on this because she's one of those. She comes from. Come on. I'm trying really hard to not like let dead space come in this, but it's really freaking hard. Anyway. The Imperial Security Bureau. So it is. Is it Daedra? Hold on. Come on. Well, I don't have a picture of her, so I don't know. But anyway, there's a female officer in the Imperial Security Bureau, and while they're going through these budget reports, she is excellent when it comes to rooting out stuff. She comes from a section, where they sort of bend the rules, and it's about getting results rather than the evidence, and that's not so much here. But the head officer of the security bureau, he brought her in because he wanted more like him, but she only has responsibility for two systems. The person that she's trying to one up is in charge of six, and she just has a gut feel. Like, she's essentially she has a gut feeling looking at patterns and other stuff that's happening in her systems and tying it to stuff that's in his systems. She tied the crime of the missing comm system that not comm but navigation system that Cassian stole earlier. um, and yeah, she literally smells that something's going on. Like, this feels like a rebellion is brewing. And again, you deal with the bureaucracy, and it's just like they want the reports, they want their numbers, and they want proof. So again, it shows this really, really well. I was very impressed. I enjoyed it 100%. uh and then we're dealing with the fallout of the failed capture of Cassian before his takeoff. So Cyril, he is essentially released. Like, the Premor Corporation is no more. It is incorporated into the Imperial forces. There's no more autonomy. So the chief officer loses his job because of incompetence. And because he made too big of a failure, Karn, Cyril, he gets fired and is sent home to Coruscant. So then that's where he goes home and he sees his mom, who slaps him and then hugs him. I'm not sure what the backstory is on this, but I'm assuming we'll find out in episode 5 before getting to the real meat and guts of this trilogy of episodes in episode 6. So that's what I'm thinking. So again, back to the rebellion. They're essentially going to steal a payroll for an entire imperial sector. Essentially, that's a lot of credits, and they only have 7 people to do so. And it's crazy because, once again, you have Cassian, who is essentially being a mercenary, but you get the feeling that he actually does feel something in toward this. So how it's going to end up, you don't know. But yeah, Luthen tells him to have a persona that he's going to be known as for the next few days, and that he chooses Clem, his dead father's name. And yeah, so essentially he has to talk to the person that he's going to work under, and like, while Luthen stresses that she's in charge, it's clear that he's the one who's really setting things in motion. He seems to be the big boss man, but for this assignment, he left her in charge. And that you can see the argument. And again, because, like, why wouldn't you be? I mean, I was in the military. Like, if you make a last minute change on a very, like, intricate operation, and you have like days to train a new member to try to do this, yeah, I'd be insanely pissed. But they have to take him. It is as sort of redundancy. I don't know if they like lost someone. Like, some of the things they say imply that he is replacing someone, but then they keep on saying that he's just a redundancy, to cover holes that maybe the other people in the team can't manage. So I don't know what's on the backstory with that, but yeah, that's where they go. So I mean, this was an amazing episode in my opinion, and what do I think I'd give this? I think I would honestly give this uh a s I think I'm gonna give this an 8. You know, this was very good. It was a bit slow. You know, I get that, a little slow. Um, but for the most part, everything was great about this. The only thing I can say is like I'd wish they had stuck with the releasing three at a time, because if this is the thing we're going to get, then we're getting a sequel, trequel, whatever. I did, yeah, we're getting a movie split in three again, and it looks like episode 8 and 10 might be that way as well, because they're all under the same writer, Bo Willimon. And then episode 7 is done by Stephen Schiff. It's the only episode he's doing, so 12 episodes. I mean, with the way it's going, like I guess you can use a filler, but yeah, we'll find out how that goes. But yeah, essentially, you know, that they do have a plan, um, where they're going to, you know, try to escape in a vehicle, and Gatsby's just like, this is a suicide mission. But there is a rare natural phenomenon in the sky, that they have a narrow window to get to, and if they beat the clock, then no one will know they're there. If but you know, they have a window to where they can escape, and so we'll see how it goes. Like, this looks to be like the episode 6 looks to be amazing. Like, I am super excited about this. See what else happens. You know, they clearly don't trust him. They don't know he's a mercenary, because he very Luthen very specifically said, like, don't let him know he's a mercenary, and she didn't. She didn't. It's just so. Yeah, we'll see how everything falls and lies with this. I mean, I essentially did the breakdown with this review. You know, episodes are interesting the way they work. So I think that's where we're gonna have it. That's where we're gonna leave it off. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Oh, Deidre Ramiro. Okay, so yeah, Dedra, she is the officer, the Imperial Security Bureau, who wants the access and authority over the Ferrix incident because of the nav unit that he stole. But she is again faced with opposition from her colleague, who is just like, no, this is my case, my system, my system, my case. And Superior, who is just like, you don't have your reports in. He does. But to his credit, he did say that he wants to bring in more officers like her, because she gets things done, you know. It's one thing to be a good bureaucrat like like her colleague is. It's another thing to actually get stuff done, which she does, just not in a way that they'd prefer. So we'll see where that goes. But man, I just love the like the interpersonal relationships in this episode. It's super cool. So Mon Mothma, again, finishing off with her. So you go home and you get this, that she's not very close with her husband. You know, he's all about having fun and the opulent lifestyle. She's the one who really cares. Sad, dark, and dreary, as he calls it, or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that verbatim, but whatever. And he's having a party, and he invited a bunch of people who he likes because they're fun, but absolutely hate her. So, oh man, it's crazy. But I love what they've done here. Once again, 8 out of 10. This is fun. This was a fun episode for like as little action as that happened. So I'm not gonna complain, and I look forward to the next one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.